So this is our final time machine for the hypotheticals of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. And this is probably, in my opinion, going to be the most context-driven hypothetical that we'll do because of all the twists and turns that happened during this 1920 season. Basically right when we started our podcast here. And the first thing that I noticed was, or that we noticed before we started recording, was that the game count kind of varies per team. And we have to figure out a win total for the Bulls who played a full 82-game schedule. So I was trying to figure out what a fair win total would be for this team. And I'm
the
struggling.
Bulls won 61 games, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to go, so since the Lakers are 71 games and the Bucks are 73 games, I'm going to just put an average of 72 games.
Okay.
And the Bulls would have won 53 based on inflation, based on their calculation.
Okay. So they're right where Toronto is?
Yeah, but I think are the Bucks and the Bulls in the same division?
Yes. It's Bucks, Bulls, Cavs.
Yeah, I got the Bulls is better than the Bucks. So
Bucks, Bulls, Cavs, Pistons, Pacers.
And I think the Bulls are going to go hard throughout the entire season, even with the bubble situation. So I got them leading the East.
So I guess you think they'll lead the East? Do you think they would have led the East pre-bubble? This is the type of shit where it gets super
like 2019.
Yeah, like right before the pandemic. Do you think they're because this was the cool part about this season. Number one, it was not that long ago, so we can get through the context of the whole point.
Yeah.
And number two, before the bubble, there was this whole different narrative as the second part, which took on a life of its own after we got a bubble to do the playoffs.
Yeah.
So at the point of the bubble happening, right? The like March, when Rudy Gobert fucked with all the microphones, and like at that point,
fuck you, Rudy.
This was roughly where people's heads were at, but it was much closer because LeBron had just beaten Giannis in the game that happened like 2 weeks before the shutdown.
He had that dominated weekend where he just dominated the Bucks and the Clippers.
Yeah,
do we really have to bring the Clippers into this, or could we just talk about the Bucks?
Well,
I was just talking about the weekend. You know, I'm not.
Unfortunately, the Bulls play in the Eastern Conference, but we'll find a way to get to those Clippers and matchups, etc. But
we probably won't. It's fine.
No, we don't have to. We don't have to.
Spare Lindsay the.
Come on.
Fucking.
We should actually. It's important to bring the Clippers up in this discussion, but we can explain.
Oh my god.
So, I think the Bulls probably take the regular season as serious as any team that I'm looking at, especially in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, the Bucks took the regular season more serious than everybody else in the league, I'd say.
Yes, that's definitely true. Even though Giannis only played 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, but that was because of his coach, your favorite guy.
Fucking, he's gonna have a job there and maybe a statue there now, which is insane to me. But I think the Bulls are probably either tied with the Bucks at 56 or just nudging them at 57. I don't think they hit 60 wins in this.
Oh yeah, no way.
Scenario where they don't play all 82.
Yeah. So even though they're in the same division, you still got them doing. Because has that ever happened in NBA history where two division teams get that many wins?
Have 50 wins?
No, like, well, in reality, you're saying that they're gonna have 60+ wins because that ratio there is
Well, if they had 61, you said it 61 equals out to be 53 games.
Yeah, 53 games.
And if they had played 72, mad math, fucking, I think.
Yeah, so you're saying they would be they'd be like a 67. They both the Bucks and the Bulls would be 67, 68 win teams.
Yeah, I'm okay with that, especially in the Eastern Conference. I just don't know. To your point, I don't know if two teams in the same division have ever done that.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's difficult because they face each other 4 times. So that's like automatically you're taking wins away from each other.
So then I think 53 is a fair point to put them at.
What if they just
I just
split
feel like
them,
that Bulls team is way better than that Bucks team. It's not even close.
Yeah, but
and you got MJ going hard throughout the whole season. I don't know. Like I feel like I would go 56.
But the Bucks shoot so many threes.
Wait, this is the Bucks team with Bledsoe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna give the Bulls the edge in terms of winning.
Okay, well we're not even doing the playoffs yet.
No, I know. I'm saying games. Like if they're competing against each other for those 4 games in the divisional, whatever. Now I'm gonna give the Bulls the edge of those 4 games for the most part.
I'm saying.
If we're gonna be. If we're talking about the 2010 Magic beating the Bulls because of 3-pointers, then I don't know how you can say that with any certainty, because the Bucks I think are leading the league in threes made this year.
So let me explain where I'm coming from. I just think that
third with 13 a game.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I think that because we're talking about just strictly regular season. I'm thinking the Bucks would be the 53 win team and the Bulls would be the 56 win team. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I just don't think they would both be high 50s because I think that's almost unattainable. Because
so you think it looks like what we're looking at here with the Clippers and the Lakers? But instead of it being 49 and 50,
yeah, because
I'm saying like with
look at the drop off between Indiana and then the next best team. Like you don't. I guess it kind of happens with the Clippers and the Suns, but I think it'll be the same thing with the Bulls and Bucks pretty much, but with higher win totals.
So you say the Bulls will be in this spot with 56. And then the Bucks go to where the Raptors go, and then you think the Raptors still win that?
Yeah, and then you just drop everything else down. We're not. This ain't the. You
started it.
The Kyle Lowry. This ain't the Kyle Lowry legacy breakdown. All right. So,
I just wanted to be sure because
that's what I'm thinking. But I mean,
I'm a wizard of math over here, so I want math to spread.
That's just what I'm thinking, but. If you want to say, all right, Bucks do better in the regular season because of threes, I guess. Like
I just think that's hard. I just think we're jumping the gun on a series because this is what we're gonna.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I think that's more.
That's why I didn't want to get into that yet. I didn't want to get into the series matchup or none of that because I was just like doing it on a very.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. No, I know. We want to get in depth with the punch. So all those combos, guys, that's because I've been training, dog.
Right. The Dominican Mike Tyson.
Yo.
The Dominican Mike Tyson over here, ready to go. All you need is that little Maui Warrior tattoo over your eye.
I do it. We crippin' out here, so.
He was going to get hearts on his face, so you could do that too.
I just leave it like that.
So Giannis, 30 points a game, 30 minutes a game, right? Really 29 and a half.
Yeah.
13.6 rebounds. 5.6 assists, a steal, and a block. And at the time, people were dumbfounded by how little he was playing and the numbers he was putting up.
Yeah. And I personally think that's what's gonna make it hard for Jordan to win this MVP because Jordan's gonna be putting up more minutes.
Yeah.
Putting up similar statistics.
Probably. Well,
and I think
less statistics too. But I'm hearing you out.
No, yeah. No, I agree. I agree with you. I mean, on the defensive side, though, Jordan's probably gonna still give you at least 2 steals in a block, probably maybe 2.5 steals.
Well, the pace is going up. Remember, Lindsay, what's our average pace for this year?
I didn't get that because remember I didn't do the 2020 thingy, so I don't know.
It's cool. You can tell me in 2 seconds when I pull it up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So average, it looks like it's gonna be over 100. 100.3. So we're back in the 80s.
It's about 100. Yeah.
We're back in the 80s because the 80s, 86, 87 season we did was 100.8 average pace.
Yeah.
So Jordan's stats are going to have to go up. 95 in today's league.
But you think defensive
Charlotte
stats go up?
Hornets?
Because I'm still iffy about that, man. The defensive stats going up is just, I don't know.
I don't know what you're saying.
I could understand the points, rebounds, and assists go up because there's more offensive possessions.
Yeah.
But I guess that it makes it more defensive possessions. But you don't see guys, like, I feel like you'd see more guys with 3 steal years. Like, how many guys?
You also got to remember there's not a lot of guys truly committing to defense in today's era. I mean, this isn't a shit on 2020 and compare it to previous years, but we were seeing guys like Akeem Olajuwon, Patrick Ewing. There's only like Rudy Gobert is the most premier rim protector that we see. There's just not guys that are doing that, and if they are, they're like specialists in today's era.
Like in the 80s, were there really that defensive stop?
Well, you think about it this way, as opposed to the 3-point shot, that's obviously infinitely harder to block. You don't see guys just straight up swatting threes all the time.
Yeah,
there's less shots at the basket, which means there's less opportunities to block.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess there's more. I just don't see how there's more opportunities to steal the ball.
It depends on what team. It depends on. I think there's more opportunities.
Because I think stealing matters more to MJ because I think his blocks will go probably down if anything.
Maybe. But stealing. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that's fine. That I guess like we could say his steals go up and his blocks go down. Because
here's the thing: he's 100% going to commit to defense every game, all game. We know that. We know that if he plays the passing lanes, he's going to get open looks in transition. He did that his whole career. That's what he specialized in.
Yep.
The reason why it's hard to think about it and be like, man, would he really do that? Is because there just aren't a lot of guys playing both ways in today's game, and the guys that are, it's like the top 1%. The guys we're about to talk about, the Kawhi Leonards, the fucking Giannis, the LeBrons, like it's.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would like you'd compare him to Kawhi, right? Like has Kawhi had a 3 steal season? Like I feel like
no, but he also we're now entering a time with more pace. It wasn't always like this. Because remember, 5 years ago, the pace was significantly lower in terms of average. But now that we're getting into it, Kawhi Leonard, he's got 1.8.
Wasn't 2017 just as fast? I mean, it's fine. I just don't.
It's this year is significantly faster. Like this season, especially when we get to the bubble, it went. And that's why I think
I could see Jordan averaging like 2.5 steals in this era.
And I think, are we saying? So when we did 86, 87, we gave Jordan 34, 6, and 6.
And hold on, like, is Jordan still going to be averaging the 20, the 35, 6? Because remember, like, the pace is up. So is he going to be, are we assuming that he's going to be averaging more points? Because if he's averaging more points, so if he's averaging, 34? Let's say 34 just to be.
Okay.
Are we still giving him the 6? I'd say 6 assists is fair. Yeah. 6 rebounds. You could argue maybe 7 if they're shooting more shots.
Fair point.
You probably get the 3 steals still.
Definitely get that. I think you might get 2 blocks
steals. Or you may get a block and a half just off I don't know, man. 34, close, right? 6 and 6 sounds much different.
Yeah, it does. Shooting 50, I think he had 50. It's 54% for MJ.
Yeah.
Is that fair for a hypothetical stat line?
So he's averaging 34? You said 34, 6 and 6?
That's what we said for 86, 87.
Yeah. I'll probably go similar, yeah.
Yeah.
with the higher pace. Yeah.
Does that get him the scoring title
Uh,
at 34, or is that still going to James Harden?
might be going to James Harden. I think he averages 36 or 35, maybe. Maybe less because Russell Westbrook's on his team this year.
True.
No.
34.3. They'd be neck and neck for the scoring title. That's
and if neck and neck, you know Jordan's getting it because he's competitive as shit. He's gonna be like, mine.
So, I think I agree with you. However, I'll make the case for Harden getting it. Once again, revolves around this bad boy right here. We know Jordan's not going to shoot 12 three-pointers a game. Even if you want to say he adapts a little bit to this era, I don't think he takes more than 5 per game. I just doubt it. I
don't think it matters, though.
Me neither.
Like in the regular season, I don't think it matters because, like, how can you stop Jordan from getting to the basket in this era?
I agree.
There's no hand checking. There's no none of that. Like literally the lane is really, if you can get to the basket, the lane is an open like path all the time. So I feel like he's gonna get easy layups and dunks anyways to get his points.
And not only that, not only that, they can spread the floor and play Horace Grant at the 5 at this point. I'm not saying they could do that previously, but if they're really gonna,
if they have to,
definitely would apply for the small ball type thing, which helps Jordan. Which I'm not saying they definitely do, but I'm not saying they wouldn't do it.
And this is the part that's always hard with the legacy breakdowns, is because unfortunately, like, you'll bring a player to the future,
and
then like he might really adapt well to this, but then because they're all-time greats for a reason. Like, you call them an all-time great because they can be put in any place in the history of the NBA, and you would say that they would be great, right?
Yeah.
But you have guys who aren't great, like all-time greats. These guys were like role players at best.
Totally agree.
And at the time, so now when you're bringing them to this era where there's more talent, now it's hindering Jordan when it really shouldn't, because he would still be. I think he would still be considered the best player in the world if he was playing the game. So that's why it just sucks. Like,
and that's why it's hard for me to say. And with the win totals, it's why I'm not sure where they would be when you combine the lack of 3-point shooting, which means they have to play hard defense. If they're not playing hard defense, they're probably going to get outscored, because their pace is not naturally high. Their 95 point whatever would be next to the Charlotte Hornets at the bottom of the league.
Yeah. Well, who was the best defense in 2020? It was between the Lakers and the Bucks, I think.
I was about to say the Knicks, but that's the next year. Toronto Raptors had the best defense in basketball from a points per game perspective at 106.5.
We know that's a lie. We know that's damn well a lie. Fuck all that.
Bulls at 101.0 would be number 1 in the NBA.
They ain't keeping that. They ain't keeping 101.
I think it probably gets to 104, 105.
Yeah, I think it'll be more towards the Raptors, but there'll be a legitimate one. Like, let me explain to you why the Raptors one isn't legitimate. Even though this isn't a Kyle Lowry legacy breakdown, we always got to throw shade at random people, right? Like, who wakes up and be like, yeah, I'm going to whoop the Raptors' ass right now? Like, no one cares. Like, you don't care about y'all. Like, you dog shit, blood. Like,
DeMar DeRozan, Vince Carter, Marc Gasol, maybe. If he has any revenge narrative in his heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Hakeem Olajuwon was a Raptor, maybe him. I don't know. Just fucking around.
Hakeem was.
I don't think anybody cares that much.
Yeah. The only person that cared was Kobe. You remember when he did to y'all motherfuckers?
Oh man,
I remember. I'm not even talking about the 81. I'm talking about
future Russell.
The three threes. What?
Russell, add a Kobe counter to this.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Future Russell, can you add a Kobe counter for how many times Dario brings him up when there's no relevance to him at all?
That's the only time the Raptors is relevant. Like
LeBronto.
He is retired.
Well, all right, Kawhi Leonard.
LeBronto.
After that, huh?
LeBronto.
True. USA.
What was cooler though? Like really, like all jokes aside, in the comment section, tell me what was cooler. All right, let's go.
So, defensive rating for it's amazing to me. Defensive rating for the Bulls, 105.2. Bucks had the best defensive rating with 102.9. So they're still not the best defensive team, but they're one of probably the 5 best defensive teams in basketball right now.
Yeah, facts.
I think Giannis is keeping this MVP award.
Yeah, talk your shit. And he keeping the Defensive Player of the Year?
Well, hold on. We're getting there.
All right.
Where does he place if he doesn't win?
Who, Jordan?
Yeah.
Not gonna lie to you. Jordan will probably be second. But in reality, it should be LeBron James. But LeBron James got another 25 point per game guy on his team. So
why wouldn't it be LeBron? He's 52 games in the West. He leads the league in assists.
I was just explaining
but I don't understand why do you think I'm confused by that?
I'll put MJ at third.
Why wouldn't you just say Why wouldn't you just say that?
Why wouldn't I just put? I feel like LeBron James technically would have had a better year with because I'm not trying to be like a old school dude like I was there even though it was just last year, but LeBron was averaging 25 and 11 like
25
that. But remember the bubble, they had a bad time in the in the first like 9 games in the bubble. They just needed to win that one game and then they just coasted the rest of the way. Yeah. So LeBron's stats went down. In reality, LeBron would have had like 25 and 11, which was like Magic Johnson at his this was like considered an old LeBron James, and he was putting up like Magic Johnson at his best.
It's not considered. He's 35. This is Michael Jordan at 97 or 98. Like they're the same.
No, I know that, but he wasn't playing like if you tell me like that LeBron James at 35 was the best 35-year-old in NBA history.
That's a totally different story for a different day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
My thing is, I'm trying to make the point that he's a little older, right? He's because Jordan's what, 25, 27, right? He wins his first championship at 27,
28, I think.
So
he might be 27.
27. I can see LeBron being second here because you got to think about placement. Because I think the Bucks are actually going to be above. There's a chance the Bucks are above the Bulls, right? Or if they're neck and neck, you have LeBron with 52 wins leading the West. So I just think when you include that, you talk about him getting over 10 assists for the first time in his career, 8 rebounds. I think he could totally be in that spot. Yes, child.
Who's 6? Who's 6 in the MVP?
Anthony Davis.
How the hell are we gonna say Michael Jordan, which is Scottie Pippen?
Because Scotty's gonna be in this list more than likely.
No way. There's nobody. There's
how could you say that?
Scotty's. Remember, this is not Scotty. This is Scotty when everybody was shitting on him.
Yeah, but we're in 2020. We're not in fucking 1991. We're in 2020.
No, I know, but he's still
tell me that then. Great.
Stat line. Look at the stat line that he's putting up. It's not.
Yeah, but we just increased Jordan's stats for the playoffs.
We didn't give him
with the increased.
Was Klay Thompson ever in MVP voting? Like that's Klay Thompson's stat line. The 22 points or the 21 points, whatever he's going to be averaging. He's
going to probably get to 20 points a game. He's going to probably get to 8 or 9 rebounds. Keep his 6 assists, 2.5 steals. He'll probably get his block a game because he's going to guard everybody. I think Scotty is without a doubt an all-star in 2020.
You think Scotty,
especially if you're going to tell me the Bulls.
Is Scotty a superstar? Is Scotty a top 10 player in the league?
I'll take Scotty over Chris Middleton any day. And Chris Middleton's an undoubtedly
cool.
all-star.
Would you take Scotty over Anthony Davis?
But you're changing the argument.
Matters a lot.
No, but you're changing the argument. We're talking about, is Scottie Pippen going to be an all-star? Yes. Do I think he's in the top 10 of MVP voting? That completely depends on how many wins the Bulls get, right?
So
if they're first. If you're talking about the Bulls being first, then I think Scotty's in that conversation.
So quick question. Is Scott, when we talk about in NBA history, how many times have people won MVPs with someone averaging 20 on the team?
In the last 10 years, it's happened more than it's happened.
No, in the last 20, it still happened. Like Shaq got an MVP with Kobe not doing whatever. There has been times. There has never been a time that someone's won an MVP with the other player averaging 25 plus. We've talked about this throughout every legacy breakdown, everything. So you can't tell me that MJ is gonna be like that automatically bumps MJ higher because now you saying, all right, this guy won. How many more games would he have won? He would have won like what, 2 or 3 more games more than Jordan? Probably not even because we're saying Jordan would have won 53.
We both know that people consider the West a harder conference too. You got to consider that because the East is undoubtedly easier, right?
Okay,
and LeBron's older than dirt. Like
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You said it yourself. The best 35-year-old season you can think of is this one. Like
that's a fact,
and that's what people were saying. And
not even close.
Right before the pandemic, this is how I started this whole episode. Right before the pandemic, 34, right? People were having 34. What?
Kobe was 34.
While I'm talking, motherfucker. Just sounds like this.
I was just gonna say I can't remember in 35 if Kobe was 34 or 35. When he ruptured his Achilles, was he 34 or 35?
He's 30.
I might be changing my stance.
Why is this relevant?
Oh my
because he might not be the best 35-year-old of all time. Cause
this is irrelevant. Fucking pissing me off.
Well, future Russell, put that up. And
you're making me do so much extra work later for no fucking reason.
I was gonna say, God, hey, if he is, can you put it up and then say this is now Dario's?
Yeah, that's all I have. That's all I would have to do.
Having listened to both of your arguments about it, I would still keep MJ in 3 for MVP.
You think he gets first place votes? Do you think it's a 3-way split, similar to like Magic, Jordan, Barkley from 1990?
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I think it just becomes an extremely close race as opposed to Giannis leading the way. I think Giannis gets like maybe 60 votes, and the other are dispersed between LeBron and Jordan for first place. I could see that. I'm surprised James Harden.
It doesn't make sense to argue.
I'm surprised James Harden didn't get 1 first place vote. I didn't know that.
They were 6 in the West.
Were they really?
Yeah. Pretty sure.
I thought they were higher than that. Oh, no, you're right. They were 4th. Oh. Well, they were tied, so they might... Yeah, no, you're right. They might have been 6th. But I think... Because Jordan obviously is going to have a similar stat line to this guy, to James Harden. That's why I was thinking that. Because this actually looks like Jordan's stat line. Look at this. 34, 6, 7, so a little bit higher. 1 point, almost 2 steals, and a block. Like...
I'm forgetting. I'm thinking of Joe. There's not even an argument here. Scotty's gonna be averaging. You just. Why'd you have to say that? Because now Scotty's gonna be averaging 20 points a game while Jordan's averaging almost 35, and then you got Bron and freaking AD splitting points. Like I just think it's not even. I don't know. But
look,
whatever. It doesn't matter. We're arguing about who's not going to win MVP, so it's fine.
Yeah, but LeBron's assists though too, and you have to take that into account, and the harder conference.
Context of people nutting over that because of how he'd never done it before. But I think it looks like this, where Middleton's here at 20 points, right? And Giannis was able to win the MVP. Why Middleton isn't considered an MVP or on the MVP voting? You could say maybe the same thing for Scottie Pippen. I don't know.
But how does not? You're making my point.
I don't like Chris Middleton. It's not.
You're making my
I'm not
point.
in a good spot to say that.
That doesn't make sense, Russ. You literally just made my point, and you're arguing against it.
Well, I don't know what your point is then.
My point is,
I missed it between you talking about Kobe and talking about the 35-year-old player.
His point is what you just said, that
literally that.
Giannis had a teammate only scoring 20 points per game, and so he got the MVP when LeBron had a teammate scoring 26 or whatever points a game, so he came in second. And then if you consider MJ... Wait, stop. And then if you consider MJ and Scottie, MJ would be scoring 30-plus points a game, Scottie would only be scoring 20, so that would make him seem like the superior offensive player in that duo, right? So he would be higher up in the MVP rating versus LeBron, who has the offensive help in Anthony Davis. Is that the argument, correct?
Yes. And for you to say that LeBron James didn't come in second because of that is crazy to me. Because literally the argument was Giannis is doing it.
We know this.
So, like you told me, we can't talk together because it only sounds like Giannis was talked about as dominant in the minimal amount of time that he was there, and then people brought up LeBron James normally would have an MVP caliber season, but he has another guy there that you can't just ignore, and that guy arguably was part of. They literally helped lead them to the finals too. It's just the facts. This is literally what happened.
I don't know.
26, 9, and a steal and a half, 2 blocks. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I still have Jordan. I still have Jordan beneath LeBron and Giannis, 100%. Because I just think people will care more that he's older. There's more I don't think that because Anthony Davis is here, that's why LeBron didn't win the award. I think LeBron didn't win the award because people looked at it and went, 30 points in 30 minutes is unprecedented. And people were already having Giannis as Defensive Player of the Year, which is what we're about to get to. And I think that put him over the top. But in March, right when the fucking world shut down, this was like a 50-50 split between the voters, let's say.
That's not true.
It was true. After he beat both the Clippers and the Bucks, like we said.
It was looking like LeBron was going to win MVP because Giannis had just got injured. That was what changed. That was what skewed everything because Giannis got injured literally that week of. He was supposed to be out for months.
Yeah.
And that's
for about a month.
Yeah. And then if LeBron would have finished the next 20 games, he would have won MVP. But
regardless of Davis.
Literally in January, you can go back. There were people at that time who are voters that were saying that Giannis is MVP.
Yeah, no, I'm not disagreeing with that.
And they were like, it's not even close at the time.
But
then that weekend,
LeBron tied it up by March.
Huh?
LeBron was making a lot of
Yeah, but then and then you had the argument at the time was, we can't just reward LeBron for this great month when Giannis has been doing it all year. That was the biggest thing. And I remember even in our group,
I remember it differently. Yes. I remember it differently. I remember it more like it was a statistical, jizz party.
I'll send you our group chat messages too. I got you.
It's not about us. I'm talking about general consensus.
But that's our consensus at the time.
No, it isn't. So, all right. So, Defensive Player of the Year. This is going to be a lot closer, I think. So,
There's advanced stats to this because it's not just as simple as steals and blocks.
Yeah, well, that could be said. Also, context is important too. I think in '91, Jordan was where in Defensive Player of the Year voting? He's not even in the conversation at this point. So I was looking this up to see if he was in the conversation at that point for his defense, but there were other people involved. But hold on. I feel like if Giannis is going to still win MVP, I just think it's going to end up leaning towards him also still getting Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah. I don't think Jordan's going to take one.
How is Jordan's stat line any different than Anthony Davis's? Anthony Davis is almost averaging 2 steals and 2 blocks.
Because because I don't know. He's guarding.
I'd argue Jordan's gonna have less blocks per game than he did at the time.
Right.
He might have similar steals. I think 2 steals and 2 blocks.
I think perimeter defense is not held at a premium at this point in time either.
Well, in NBA history, it's not.
True.
If you look at the amount of guards, there's only been 9 guards to win.
I think less than that. And Gary Payton's the only point guard.
Yeah, so
that's a good point.
It's always been power forward and centers. Centers dominated that stat.
It's just because rim protection is so obvious. There's so many different ways to keep stat of it, and it's very obvious when you look at the fucking film.
Yeah.
And Giannis was doing a lot of that. He was bringing the ball up, and then he was their primary rim protector on the other end, flying all over the place.
Yeah. It's just funny because if you look at that stat line, you're like, why? But there's so much more to it than just that. I'm sure there's defensive win shares were
but that's also the same thing could be said for other defensive player of the years. It's their personal statistics match with, especially for defensive player of the year, team stats. Defensive rating is a huge factor. If you're the defensive anchor on the best defensive rating team, and it's you are a certain point over the competition, that puts you higher in the defensive player of the year voting. Shit like that. And that's why, if we're assuming, I think MJ's somewhere in this top 5. I don't know if he's going to be considered higher than Anthony Davis at this particular point, because the Lakers were really good defensively this year. That's what they made their name on. What was their pace? 100. So they're still flying up the court, but it felt like, especially when we get to the playoffs, I don't think it's 100.
Yeah, it's not. But that's every team, though.
Who do you have?
Winning defensive player of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still keeping it, to be honest. Honestly, at the time, I probably would have leaned more towards Anthony Davis, but I was also a Laker fan, so I was kind of going for him. But
do you put Anthony Davis above or beneath MJ?
Nah, I think I got MJ third.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely. Anthony Davis, even his his intangibles too. I and that goes back to what you were saying. What it matters about your team defense. Anthony Davis, we know this. He enforced defense on the Lakers. He made LeBron play defense again.
Yes,
that was a thing.
100%. Especially the later they got in the season.
Yeah,
and also with Frank Vogel as their coach, a guy who historically had been known for his defense, hard nosed defense for this era.
Yeah.
I think Jordan is going to be the vocal leader of his team defensively, as he would be in any other of his championship teams. But I think, just the guy who's screaming at everybody. Because it's not going to be Phil. It's not going to be Scotty.
Yeah. Well, Scotty's a leader. He's the
good cop. He's the good cop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah. And I also I think that matters toward as well. I don't know why, but I don't know why you feel like MJ is the best defender on the Bulls, because he's not. It's just to me, Scotty's easily the best defender on the Bulls, especially in this era. It's even more
I think it's one thing. I think when we get towards the second championships, I think that's a completely fair statement to say, especially after Jordan takes that time off. I think Scotty's
this is Scotty at his he locked up Magic Johnson. What else? He locked up a top guard of all time, and no one did that at the time.
I know that happens at the end of this year.
This is not it's not it was.
I know, but that's his coming out party. He wasn't known for doing that before that point. He was still building his name, is what I'm saying. I wouldn't put him in 1991.
as an offensive player and as a superstar in the league, sure, but not as a defender. Everyone knew
he wasn't on any all defensive teams in the 80s.
Like, yeah, but he's
building his name.
Like his 4th year.
Right, but I'm not ready. I'm saying in 1991, I don't think he's better at defense than MJ. It's just my opinion. He's got a different.
Think Scotty's better at defense than MJ in his whole career.
Right, but that's who cares? Who cares? That's what I'm talking about. In 91, I definitely think MJ's definitely the leader vocally and offensively and defensively. And I think at that point, like if MJ had Scotty's dimensions, I think he would have been able to guard Magic fine. But Magic could body him. So Scotty was the bigger body and it worked out better. Like that's like being like.
But that means Scotty has more, he can guard more people. Which
right, but it depends on where I think Michael Jordan can lock up 2 guards and point guards better than Scottie Pippen. But Scottie Pippen could definitely lock up the bigger people better than MJ.
I don't know. I think
what's wrong with that?
They're like the same. They're perimeter.
Nah, definitely not. As the help defender, I think Jordan's better because Jordan is. You could probably find a 20-minute highlight reel on YouTube of Jordan coming over and blocking centers, being the help defender, for example, doing things kind of like what Giannis did in this year, just being the ultimate help defender. I think I would put Jordan above him. I think straight up head-to-head defense on the smaller guys, I'm putting Jordan. On the bigger guys, I'll take Scotty even at this point. But it's just my opinion.
Let's go to the playoffs.
So, who we have in the East? Who do we want to see in the East first? We have Raptors.
Like a lot of shit.
So. Yeah, Celtics. This is why I thought maybe we could get to the Clippers at some point because I think no matter what team we pick,
fuck off
for a while.
I don't know. We'd want to go.
Can we do Philly?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm thinking Philly, Heat, and Bucks would be who we would go through in the East.
Because I think this is interesting. Embiid, he just get hurt midway through the season. Like I know he's always like in and out of lineups, but he plays in the playoffs and shit, right? He plays.
Yeah, I don't think
Simmons is the one who doesn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Simmons is not there.
But for the sake,
maybe it's not fun to put that. Put him as. Okay.
This is the hypothetical time machine. I just want to do head-to-head matchup here. Because I think this is a very interesting head-to-head. The fucking Sixers are humongous at this point. Yeah. Every guy is above 6. How tall is Josh Richardson? I think he's 6'5", 6'6". 6'5". He's 6'5" is the smallest guy on their starting 5.
Yeah.
Harden and Embiid are locking up. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league. They're 8th in defensive rating. They have a low pace of 99, which would be low, extremely low for this era, but helps when we talk about a series between them and the Bulls. Yeah. And what's their 3-point shooting looking like? So they're making 11 a game, which is only 19th. It's crazy how far we've come.
Yeah.
Because 11 a game was like unheard of 10 years ago, for example.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jordan can be efficient against all these bodies. I think Ben Simmons is scary for a guy like Michael Jordan because he's Magic Johnson's body with elite defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I might. My heart wants to say Bulls, but there's a lot of things here that make it really bad for the Bulls.
What are we talking? Wait, time out. What are we talking about here? Do we know this team? Like this team is horrible. Like this like maybe if you're putting like a battery, like a controller in this team's ass and playing as them, maybe they could beat the Bulls. But there's no way in hell this Philly team is beating the Bulls. I'm sorry. I could understand like the Orlando Magic. I know it was like crazy for anybody to even think that the Orlando Magic will win. But they actually had like a string of success in that season, and they completely dominated. This Philly team was pure shit, and like everybody just wishes for the best for this team, and then they always do horrible. There's no way in hell you got Michael Jordan coming full throttle wrath in the first round, and you're gonna beat. Hell no. There's no way in hell. I would never
give me some games and give me a stat line.
The Bulls in 5. The only thing that's gonna give the Philly a chance is Embiid going for like a 40 piece, and that's it. That's the only time, because Ben Simmons is gonna be scared to even think about dribbling. Like that's how. Like we saw him scared to even do an open layup. He gonna be scared to think about dribbling. With how MJ and Scottie.
Yeah, well, that's an important thing to note. That Ben Simmons is slowly morphed into that guy, but it's not like at this point he was passing up dunks constantly. Like he wasn't. He was no. Yeah, I just want to make that clear. I agree with you that team, the team that the Hawks beat, I got Bulls in a sweep against that Hawks team. The team that I just saw in the last playoff, where Ben Simmons is passing up dunks and he barely can put up 10 points a game.
We would talk if this was the Philly team for the year before, the 2019 Philly team.
Yeah.
Then I'll be like, okay, we got like you have Jimmy Butler there. You got like a different type of mentality. Then we talking like this is not the team. Like this is a bad Philly team. There's no way in hell that beat it. I don't even think it's close. Like
the easiest way for me to remember how bad this Philly team is the fact that after Doc Rivers blew a 3-1 lead in the playoffs, they hired him as a coach because they wanted him.
Of course, it all goes back to fucking Doc Rivers when it comes to Lindsay.
Fuck
Lindsay,
Doc Rivers. The Bulls in 5. I'm going to go Bulls in 5. Just because of Embiid. He will get 1 game because I love him. But I don't see him beating the Bulls, no.
And I know like Ben Simmons is a good defender, but he ain't locking up Michael Jordan.
So give me a stat line for Jordan.
Whatever he normally does.
Really?
He's gonna do the same thing on Ben Simmons. He's gonna literally abuse him.
Ben Simmons is huge, though.
I don't care how huge he. When does Michael Jordan had
Magic Johnson was hard to stop? Like was giving Jordan problems. How are we not going to say that Magic Johnson,
not offensively, Jordan had nobody to stop him. Like there was nobody that guarded him that stopped him. And he would not be that person. That Ben Simmons is a good defender, not an all-time great defender where you locking up MJ.
I think he holds MJ to not 55% shooting. I'll tell you. I don't think MJ's being hyper efficient, especially when you consider the rim protection.
He's giving him 35.
Maybe, but if it's 35, it's going to be on like 48% shooting.
Nah, like 51.
No way.
That ass he is.
Joel Embiid is protecting the rim like really well. Like I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think
league are you talking about the same? Joel Embiid got 1 block a game.
Yeah, but are you trying to say because he got 1 block a game that he's not one of the best?
What I'm telling you is that Philly team that I saw that year is not the same team that you think they are. Like you're making it up in your brain what you think they could be, because that's not what they are.
It's just a matter of what do I always say about Michael Jordan? If you're gonna be in a team that's gonna score a bunch of points and they have 6 players in double figures, if you're gonna be a team that scores a bunch of points, right? Jordan has to get help from his teammates. He has to.
They only have 5 players in double figures.
Whatever.
Not scoring.
It's all their starters. It's all their starters in double figures.
That's fine. Ben
Simmons going to get probably 15 points a game. This Ben Simmons is going to go coast to coast and get. They're going to.
They get in his brain and just like fuck with him. They're gonna make
Jordan's
him.
Not going to guard him. Jordan's not going to be the one that guards him.
That's fine, but Scottie is, and Scottie could do the same thing.
I don't know. Scottie's pretty mentally weak himself. I don't think he's saying anything to anybody.
No, Scottie used to talk shit. 100% he used to. Like, I think you really, like, you got Scottie fucked up for sure. Especially playoff Scottie.
You're taking late 90s Scottie and putting him into that. This is the guy who was getting ridiculed for the migraine game. The same kind of guy. Like, Do I think he makes the All-Star team if he makes fucking 8 and 5? Yes, I think he makes the All-Star team. But do I think he's one of the 5 mentally strongest people in 2020 NBA? No, absolutely not.
What do you think? What do you think Ben Simmons does on Scottie Pippen? The same thing that he's doing right now?
No, I think he probably gets 12 points. Definitely high assist numbers. Probably 8 assists. I'm cool with the 8 assists. More than likely less rebounds. The whole team's probably going to get less rebounds because the Bulls are going to be naturally a more inside team.
Can we go to the 1990 finals?
The 90 finals or the 91 finals?
91 finals, yeah.
So I was like, Bulls weren't in that one. You're good. So yeah.
Is this it? Can we go game by game? Is it? Yeah. I want to know how many assists Magic Johnson averaged.
Oh,
after from game 2 to game 5.
I wish you asked me that earlier. I would have went about it a different way. Well, it'd be from games 3 to 5.
11, 10, 10, 11, 20.
2 to 5, yeah.
20 in the last game?
Yeah.
What a savage.
Yeah, he went off that last game. I remember watching it.
But he's just it's not the Magic going the way Ben Simmons would do it. It would be this is Magic from the post. This is post Magic. We looked into all that stuff when we were doing that season. I think in transition, I just think with the higher pace.
But I think Scottie stops him from getting into transition more often.
Maybe. I can see that.
Like I could totally see Scottie doing the same thing, guarding Ben Simmons from the beginning, like from 90 feet, and be fine with it.
Right. I'm not necessarily going to disagree with you on that. I just think I think Embiid gets you at least one game, right? Because I don't think they have a lot of guys to guard Embiid. And then I think they make enough 3-pointers to get another one in one game. Like they hit 15 threes in a game. I'm not saying that would happen all the time, but I think one game they'll get that. So I'll take the Bulls in 6. But
the 3-point that you
I just feel like we have to say shit like that now, because to say that the Bulls are not threatened by that would just be the biggest lapse of judgment we could possibly have. It totally disregards the difference between their era and the era we're in.
Did we talk about my boy Toby, or did we not talk about him?
Toby and Horace Grant. I think Horace Grant fucks Toby up. I think that's the perfect type of game for Horace Grant to have like a really that's a good matchup for Horace Grant of all the matchups you could have.
Yeah.
I think Jordan is probably in the 30s, the low to mid 30s at, like I said, probably like 48%. But I think you're right with Scottie. I think Scottie is able to do things to stop the bleeding potentially of a Ben Simmons going up and down the court.
And then it's also, if
transition wise,
you think Ben Simmons is going to be guarding MJ, there's no way in hell he's going to be the same guy offensively.
Yeah, it's just going to be a lot of effort and energy.
Yeah, like that's why I definitely don't think like, I know I was being disrespectful before, but I'm being like kind of serious. If he's guarding MJ, there's no way he's scoring over 10 points a game too on Scottie. I just don't think so. It's hard.
I think he'll get 10. Just in the high pace era, I can't imagine anybody.
But it's the playoffs is different.
Draymond Green not getting 10 points is confusing to me.
That what?
Draymond Green scoring 10 points a game,
but not in the playoffs.
He doesn't really score 10 points a game. Like you'd think he would.
Yeah.
All right. So, see, we got Miami here.
So Miami went to the finals. So let's at least give Miami the end.
So we're gonna do the Bucks now.
Yeah.
All right.
Because the Bucks are.
I think it's important to note also that 76ers are probably crumbling mentally in the bubble. I feel like that's something we completely left out.
Yeah.
And it's something important to note.
Yeah.
And it's something we have to talk about in this part of it as well.
Yeah.
So
like, how would MJ deal with the social issues in the country at the time?
I don't know, but I don't
He wouldn't. That's what he would do.
Probably,
He would
probably would just get on the court and play. Here's my case for Michael Jordan succeeding in the bubble, though, and not having it not affect his game in any way, shape, or form. First of all, every single person who played in the bubble said the environment there created a more open, fast-paced style of basketball. That's definitely something that was said because people weren't afraid to run into people underneath the basket, for example. So they were going full speed at the rim as opposed to, little things like that. An empty gym makes it easier to shoot, things like that. I think Jordan, somebody who
Tyler Hero freaking walling for respect in the bubble, and now he's like
Jamal Murray.
Perfect example. Helps the BJ Armstrongs of the world.
Yeah.
But I'm bringing some of that up to say one of the things that present day players could not stand that in the bubble was being isolated for all that time. Was being in the hotel with nobody for long hours. I'm pretty sure that was in Jordan's contract. That he had to be isolated in a hotel. Most of that Last Dance documentary is following him from hotel to hotel room, totally isolated, smoking cigars, and like in a position where he can't really do a lot.
Yeah, but
it's not in public.
But yeah, I feel like that because Michael Jordan would be looked at as the best player in the league, and would he be also him and LeBron would be the face of the leagues?
For sure.
So I don't think that would put a ton of pressure on LeBron on MJ with all of the social issues going on and him not talking about it. I think that especially with LeBron being so vocal about it, I feel like that would put a ton of media.
Here's my counter to that, and I don't know if it's fair, but tell me if I'm bugging. So Magic and Larry, right, in the 80s, what got them over and what got the league over, and it was a different time, and maybe that'll be the answer to this. Maybe that's how you'll hit me back with it. But they were polar opposites. They got over because they were completely different individuals, right? I think if Michael Jordan and LeBron James played at the same time, I don't know if Michael Jordan would be the overwhelming babyface he was in the 90s, especially if the real, authentic Michael Jordan persona was something that got out, or as opposed to LeBron's PR machine style where everything is crafted and, nothing gets out there without his say-so, for example.
Yep.
I think Jordan did a really good job of that during his era, but I definitely think they would be polar opposites in the way they handled themselves on the court, for sure, and more than likely the way they would handle themselves off of the court. And I just think Jordan would have a really good way to block that out, for better or worse. Say what you want about his opinions towards stuff. I think he is the type of person to go, I don't give a fuck about any of that. I'm just here to hoop and get a championship. I'm single focused. I think he'd be the one of the guys who would be able to easily tune that all out. And if that makes him a bad person,
media era, that's not gonna fly.
Just because social media exists doesn't mean everybody is like always on it constantly. Like,
you don't think so? Because we've talked about MJ being in the social media era and thriving off of it.
Right. I think he would thrive off of it in the same way Kobe did. But Kobe wasn't constantly on his phone on social media. He was using it the way he was using it, like Amnesty, for example, against Mark Cuban. Like, he would do things like that. Like he would, and when he retired, he became way more social media active.
But like social media wasn't as much of a presence when Kobe was playing.
That's fair, but even as far back as 2010, he had his Twitter account.
It wasn't used the same. Like Twitter now is like news, like that. Like you like the news breaks on Twitter now.
I'm not disagreeing, but you can't also say every single basketball player would be on Twitter the same as, like, I don't know, like the way LeBron does all his stuff through social. Like, Kawhi Leonard is not on social media like that, for example. He's more quiet, reserved, but then killer on the basketball court. There are guys that are like that.
So Jordan got Jordan was overwhelmed. Just the very next year with the
2 years.
Oh yeah,
Talking
2
about
years.
the Jordan rules.
Yeah, well, he had the Jordan rules, and then he had the
The gambling stuff. That was the 2 years. Yeah.
Yep, 2 years, and he was overwhelmed by that.
Right.
So I just can't imagine that especially if he's not at least saying something about it. If he's just trying to ignore it, like that was actually like it was something that made all the players have to talk about it. No one could just not talk about that at the time. That was like a prominent thing in the NBA. Like games were like how are you gonna have the Bucks not play a playoff?
No, yeah.
And
no, I get what you're saying.
You can't run from.
Yeah, but I think he would do like a statement. I don't think he'd spend more than 10 minutes like really having that affect his day. I just don't. I think he's that type of individual. He's just very single focused, single minded. He would sit in his hotel room and think about winning a championship. Like he's just one of those people. Like and do I think that there are people in the bubble at that point who were trying to do that? Yeah, I think there are. But again, to your point, it was hard to do. But I think that that's why a guy like Jimmy Butler carried his team to the finals, because that's another guy. It's not super on social media. Like he got social media platforms and he uses them from time to time, but singular focus, singular, you know what I mean? Like driven, hard-nosed mentality type shit. I think that's where Jordan absolutely thrives.
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler was like, nah, I'm not bringing my family. This is a business trip.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan is exactly like that.
Yeah.
If I was just going to pull Michael Jordan into this era, I would have put him on the Heat.
Yeah.
It'd be the perfect Miami Heat. Him and Pat Riley, they could actually win together instead of fight each other and kick each other out of suites.
So we got the Bulls against
Milwaukee, division rival. The Greek Freak, who has a game similar to Ben Simmons, but a totally different mentality.
Yeah. So this one I feel like it goes 7.
Okay.
And let me explain. I know the 3-pointers are supposed to be a factor.
Right.
But I feel like honestly it might go 6. But and I'm leaning towards the Bulls because I feel like the wall is perfect with Scotty, MJ, Horace. They could build that wall.
Yeah, I want to get the numbers.
And my whole thing is the 3-point shots are cute and all, but I don't think they'll beat the if you're nullifying Giannis and he's now giving you 20 points a game on 60% shooting like he did against the Heat.
Yeah.
And you have to have Chris Middleton and all these other guys at this time, because Chris Middleton this year is completely different than that Chris Middleton. I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks can beat the Bulls in a 7-game series doing that without Giannis being, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I think they would definitely build the wall, because even though this is obviously like the Bulls have never done that before, or at least wasn't noted, but every team who's faced Milwaukee up to this point already knows that the wall theory. So
that's no. I'm not trying to say that they wouldn't try and do that. They definitely would, 100%. And they're in the position where, like you said, most of the time that personnel would probably fuck them over. But for this case, where they have a guy and the job is just protect the rim, they might be one of the better teams in the NBA in terms of roster construction to get that done.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with that. Their pace, they were the number 1 team for pace in the regular season. It drops, I'm trying to get that. I need their first number. They're 105 for pace. It drops to 100 during the playoffs, as expected. They're still making those 13 threes a game. I was noticing that. So.
Yeah, but Eric Bledsoe, though, is still on that team.
Yeah.
Who's the better team in your opinion? What team do you think is going to be dominating the pace?
I think it's going to be the Bulls in this situation.
Yeah.
However, I think the Bucks are the more talented basketball team, like by a good amount.
Yeah.
I think the Bucks just have a lot more good basketball players on their team.
Yeah.
And outside of a mentality situation, it's hard for me to say that the numbers wouldn't make it close, like a 7-game series, like you were saying.
But if you're saying that the Bulls are going to be controlling the pace, now do they still make the 13 threes?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Then now if you're lowering the pace, that also means lowering possessions for Giannis.
Yeah.
He averaged what, 20 points a game against the Heat team?
Yeah.
On that pace. If you lowering the pace, you still expecting Giannis to put up the 20? I don't think so. I just feel like, and I think this Bulls team is better than that Heat team defensively.
Look at that. Pace for Miami versus Milwaukee, 96.
Yeah.
96. Exactly. Now we're right at the Bulls' average pace.
If for the regular season, the Bulls are going to try to go even slower. They're going to try to go towards the 88.
But even getting them to 96, I think that swings the pendulum huge in the Bulls' favor.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, you're taking the possessions away from Giannis, but you're also taking transition possessions away from Giannis.
Yeah. Oh, he was averaging 22. Okay, 22 and
22 on 51% shooting, 11 rebounds. Middleton is not going to be able to get his 25 a game because he's going to get tossed between Jordan and Pippen.
Remember, he was chucking because he had to be the only offense because Giannis literally couldn't get past that wall.
42% shooting for Chris Middleton.
Yeah, I could see him doing the same, probably on 38% shooting, trying to score on Jordan or some shit.
And the most important thing and the biggest reason why I had to answer your questions the way I answered them, Jimmy Butler scored 23.5 points on 53% shooting.
Yeah.
40 spot for Jordan. If Jimmy Butler's doing that.
Yeah, they couldn't even fuck with Jimmy at the time.
And you're going to tell me Michael Jordan's going to average over 50, if he averaged 53%, he could get 40. Yeah. Giannis is the help rim protector. He's not like Embiid where he's going to be, he's obviously good at protecting the rim, and that's why he was able to win Defensive Player of the Year. But it's all about help defense from Giannis. He's one of the best help defenders of all time, honestly, in the way he can move up and down the court and fly all over the place. But if Jordan's getting guarded by Eric Bledsoe, that's food.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I feel like a 6-game series is probably not even because as I keep talking about it, the 7 just doesn't even make sense because if Giannis isn't wilding, I don't think they can do that with just Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe. They're not going to be able to keep the pace up with especially at a slower pace. It's because I think the Bulls are going to go even slower than that. So
yeah. What do you think, Lynn?
I would give them, I guess, 6. But so the pace slowed down here, and the Bucks only made 54 threes in 5 games, so that's just under 11 in a game, right?
So yeah, it is dropping. It does drop.
Yeah. So 6 would be the most I would give them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Drew Holiday would make a huge difference in this matchup.
Yeah, it makes it. Yeah.
And that's why
someone then you're gonna have either Drew or Middleton going against a BJ Armstrong or you have more leverage there at least.
Yeah, but even at least if it's Paxson or BJ, because they're both still on the team, I to pick and choose who's starting. At this point, it's Paxson in 91. Yeah. They at least can stretch the floor. They were shooting in 91. They're not going to be shooting all the time, but at least they're there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're not absolute black holes where you handle the ball and they can't do anything from a shooting standpoint.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I originally said 7, but I think Bulls in 6 does make sense when we break. That's why I like doing it like this, because we come up with fucking something, and then by the end of the conversation, it's totally fucking different.
Yeah.
All right. We got one more East team to do, and it's the team we just saw. We just used as blueprint to get through the last series. It is the Miami Heat, led by Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and a bunch of white people who can shoot the shit out of the ball.
Yeah. That's really gonna be the issue, because I feel like like Jimmy
awesome
could get locked up like easily by MJ.
Does Tyler Hero get the irrational confidence that he had with like MJ on him, or does he not?
I think he still does, because that bubble, like the way he was shooting in the bubble, made it not matter.
He had Michael's secret stuff.
Yeah, like I feel like he's gonna be, and he's not. It's not like MJ's gonna be guarding him. Like MJ can't guard Jimmy and Tyler. Like,
but Scotty's probably gonna guard Jimmy a lot of the time too.
I feel like they'd move. They'd have Scotty on Bam.
Bam's the 5.
You wouldn't have Horace Grant on Bam?
The only reason, look,
Cartwright.
Bam is only 6'10".
Yeah. So then maybe Horace.
Maybe, but I feel like Scotty could completely get him out of the game. Like if Scotty plays him right, I feel like he definitely, like, Scotty's what, 6'8"? How many pounds? Like, it's not that much off compared to.
Do you think
he's 210, 6'8". Bam is only 6'10", 230. The reason I know this is because I was confused when Bam was guarding LeBron James this year.
Yeah.
And I was like, I did not think Bam was that much smaller than LeBron.
Yeah, I had that same phenomenon happen to me with Dwight Howard back in the day. I always thought he was way bigger than he actually is.
Yeah.
But this is what you like to tell me. Putting the controller in the back of if you put the controller in the back of the Bulls, I think that's a great idea. I just don't know if 1991 Phil Jackson thinks to play Scotty against the center. Horace Grant is the exact dimensions as Bam Adebayo. I think Bam might be a little heavier, but not by much.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
and if we're saying the white shooters in Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero are going to be a factor in the series, Scotty's going to be needed out on the perimeter where they do their most damage. If you put Hero and Robinson out there at the same time, Scotty, MJ got to go on them, right? Like hypothetically, if Dragic is, if it's the backcourt without Jimmy Butler, if it's Dragic, Hero, and Robinson, right? Hero's getting guarded by Jordan, and Robinson's probably going to get Scotty. Yeah, and then that leaves Bam underneath. For the
I really don't like this matchup for the Bulls at all. Like, I feel like it's not fair for them. Like, you really because it's like I'm leaning towards Heat in 6.
Wow,
because of reasons I feel like Jimmy might be able to get locked up, but we saw throughout that playoffs, like, even though I felt obviously Jimmy was the obvious leader of that team, throughout that whole playoffs, you still were getting like quality minutes from Tyler Hero, Dragic. Like, I remember when we did our Eastern Conference wrap up.
Yeah,
I remember Lindsay saying that she felt like Dragic was actually the MVP of their team at the time. Like, that's how close it was between everybody. Like, Bam had his moments, Hero had his moments, Jimmy had his moments, and Dragic had his moments. So you're gonna have 4 guys who are like gonna be just going at them offensively, and plus you're gonna have the 3-point shooting advantage for sure. Like none of the guys on their team can shoot like Tyler Hero at this time. When Tyler was
Duncan Robinson, they're both putting up.
Yeah, they were both wild.
Jay Crowder's putting up over 10 threes in a series.
Yeah.
They have a lot of shooters. Even Olynyk from the stretch position. You know what I mean?
They made 69 threes in that one series alone. Like
this is the NBA Finals.
60, huh?
This is in the NBA Finals. So in 6
even
games.
so, they made 69 threes in the NBA Finals. The Bulls probably didn't make 69 threes in the whole year. Like,
let's see how many threes. Fucking now, I want to know. Know. We can get that number pretty easily. They made 155 for the whole year.
They made a third of what they made.
Yeah, I was about to say pretty close, fucking close.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's crazy. Like it's gonna be too much. And like you could have said that even about the Bucks, really, but I just really do feel like the Bucks were just gonna have a hard time without Giannis being a focal point. Here, you're gonna have too many guys that can be focal points. Like it's more team oriented, this Heat team, and more spread around like the wealth.
Yeah, no.
So like
team oriented was fine, made sense. Yeah. I was with you.
But I wasn't trying to say the Bucks weren't team oriented. It was just more so like you just had more quality.
That was the fucking thing that was perplexing about the Bucks, though, is that in the regular season they were, but in the postseason they just fucking weren't. It was like, oh, Giannis isn't scoring 30. We're fucked. The sky is falling. Like,
but it
didn't make any sense.
Not to make this a Giannis thing, but this year, when they try to do with the moments they try to do the little walls, Giannis was just passing out. He was just a better passer this year. Like that was like things he was working on.
Yeah,
like
and of course, when they were trying to defend him, they would just get injured. Every star on the team against them would just get injured.
Yeah, fact. But then they also had the third guy in Holiday, where if it happened where Giannis was, had a hard time, you got Holiday and Middleton who could do the scoring. And they're doing it. They were giving you the 20, 25 points a game, and that it made up for it.
I think I'll take the Bulls in 7 for 3 reasons. I completely agree with you about the threes, right? I think they'd get a ton of threes up. I think they'd win 3 games, maybe a 4th game. If you told me Heat in 7, I'd be like, all right. But one thing I've noticed in each of these Miami series that we've looked at in this year of the playoffs, they're all trying to get the pace low. If your goal is to get the pace slow, you're playing right into MJ's hands when you do that. And he knows what he's doing in the half court. And not only that, the triangle is amazing for that when you can do the half court set. And outside of Jimmy Butler, I don't like anybody on this Miami team to guard Jordan, or really Scotty for that matter. Maybe Jay Crowder can guard Scotty a little bit. Like, Bam is there for the rim protection, but I think the triangle offense is something that would be interesting against this particular team, like in that half court situation.
Remember, so the reason, so 2 things out of that. Yeah. One, I feel like it's worse when you, like, I know usually when you slow it down, it makes it better for the Bulls. It makes it worse because these guys are doing slower pace and they're making a bunch of threes.
Right. I
that's
think
automatic. Like, just the math doesn't add up at that point. And then, remember that Miami team, they were playing zone against the triangle. Zone is so difficult for the triangle. Like, that's gonna make it so much harder for the triangle to function. And because remember, zone wasn't allowed at the time when Jordan and them were playing. So that'll affect the triangle significantly.
I still think
my bad. Just that, because I remember the Dallas Mavericks in 2011. That's what they ran zone. Yeah. Then they were doing it against the Heat too. They did it in the finals, but they also did it against the Lakers, and it fucked us up because you just can't. You can't. How are you gonna run a triangle with 3? Like, there's gonna be 3 guys in the middle of your triangle. Just easy. It just messes everything up.
I don't disagree, unless, of course, the easiest way to stop a zone is to shoot the fucking ball well, right?
3-point shooting.
And that too, which they don't have. They're not going to have. But even if you were to stretch it to the mid range, which we know this Bulls team is going to take a fuck ton of mid range shots no matter what we do here.
Mm-hmm.
I still think, I just don't know who's going to guard Jordan besides Jimmy Butler, because I think Jimmy Butler is going to have to get put on Scotty, because they don't got anybody on this team that can guard Scotty, like dimensions wise, except for Jimmy Butler. And then when you do that, that opens Jordan up to destroy. I think Jordan will look at it as a sign of disrespect if there's a white person on him, and he will just absolutely and just eat. I think he can get over 50% shooting. LeBron in the NBA Finals on that Heat team put up almost 60%, 59 on 30 points, 30 and 11, right?
30,
I think Jordan's getting to 33, 34 on 54% shooting. What'd you say? Sorry.
No, I was saying that it was 30 and 12, but I was like, respect my man. But so this is the thing. What happens when Jordan sits down?
Yeah,
that's like, it's gonna be floodgates. It's gonna be just like the Warriors, like what the Warriors would do, because that bench was amazing for the Heat. It wasn't a fluke that they went to the NBA Finals. They actually were the better team. It's
not disagreeing. They also lived by the three.
Their depth is gonna be too much. Like maybe Jordan and maybe even Scotty gets what they need to get.
Yeah.
But how do you stop Tyler Hero from getting his 19? And if you're gonna stop Tyler Hero from getting his 19, that means Jordan's gonna be on him. And which I don't even think that would be good, because he's gonna be having a run. Like Tyler Hero is a spot up shooter. Like he's gonna be like, I mean, he doesn't run around the court like Steph, but that's kind of like he's just trying to set himself up.
I get what you're saying.
It
is in a way like that. It's Reggie Miller-esque.
Yeah, and in that way, it's not the exact same thing, but it's similar. And you're gonna have Jordan run around and then try to give you 40 as well. He's gonna have to guard Jimmy, who's gonna still be going at him. It's not like Jimmy's gonna just be chilling, you know.
So he's more passive in nature offensively, but I think he would accept the challenge for sure.
Jimmy?
Yeah, because remember, even in the finals, like they had to beg Jimmy Butler to score more from a Heat.
Well, yeah, at this time, yeah, he was not trying to be.
It's just not his game. He's not. It's just not what he's not. He's down to take the last shot. He's down to lead, but he leads like LeBron leads. He leads like that, and Jordan is different. Jordan leads by there's an iron win.
yeah.
But I like your points, Lindsay. Who do you have?
I'm gonna go Heat in 7.
What did you like out of what we discussed?
I think that Jordan and Scotty will play good defense against the plethora of whites. However, I just feel like regardless of their defense, it's just a different, they're not going to be able to play that good of a defense and lock those guys up and upward. They're not going to hit those threes. I don't know. I feel like the math is against the Bulls.
That's fair. I can't tell you. I can't sit here and be like, you guys are fucking wrong. Fuck you guys. Like, because when it comes to the 3-point shot, it's just math. And when it comes to math, you'll never hear me correct anybody.
It's just tough. But let's imagine they win, and let's go. But before
forget what we just said. Just forget it all.
Yeah. But let's imagine, before we get into the Lakers series, we have to make a special guest appearance to
Do we?
P. Oh no, is this Swaggy P? Is that his name? No, it's Playoff P.
There you go.
And,
I agree.
I know you guys are like, why are you guys randomly bringing up the Clippers? Why are they relevant to this situation? And the reason, guys, is because throughout this whole year, this especially this year, this 2020 season, they were being called the best wing defender duo since Scotty and Jordan.
Yes.
That was a thing.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
But we have to, come on, we have to talk about them.
In some series, especially in this next year, like the year after this, where they won against the Mavericks, their numbers were comparable to a high quality MJ Scotty series. I was looking at that, like when Kawhi and
went against the Mavs.
Yeah, not the first time that we're going to talk about here, but the second time.
Oh, okay.
Do we really have to do this?
Oh, we have to do this.
We 100% do. Come on, Lindsay, stop.
Who do you got, Lynn?
The fucking Bulls. Are you kidding me? The Bulls. Michael Jordan is going to say like 2 words to Paul George, and he's going to go crying to his room all alone, and he's not going to be able to handle it, and it's going to be over.
Especially not in the bubble.
Yeah. Like, there's no way Paul George survives Michael Jordan, let alone in the bubble. Like, are you kidding me?
My man was shooting 40% for the fucking entire playoffs.
My man said, you can't, the funniest thing Charles Barkley has ever said was, you can't be going around calling yourself playoff P when you ain't do nothing in the playoffs. That's like me calling myself championship Chuck. That was the best.
Yo, I love Charles.
He's hilarious. I don't know why people don't like him. Like he's the man.
Because people pretend like everything he says is like super serious when he's Charles Barkley, a walking child.
Yeah, literally. Like if you know anything about Charles Barkley, like and just followed his history, and you probably will at some point because we'll do a legacy breakdown, guys. And then in the future, like the video will pop up at some point, like, and then you'll see it when I say that. Future Russell will do it, like future Russell though.
The future, super future.
He might have like more hair.
He might have somebody else do it.
The key to enjoying Charles Barkley will be not taking him seriously at all, and then you're like, this man's great.
Unless it's basketball opinions, because he's actually smart as shit, but he just hides it around dumb shit that he says sometimes. But like literally, I think he's the smartest analyst out of all of them. But this ain't a freaking Charles Barkley Appreciation Day, all right? Fuck that. Let's talk about Kawhi, bitch ass Leonard, and playoff bitch ass P.
Give me a stat line for Michael Jordan against this team.
Jordan's averaging 45 on him, 100%. You want to know why? Because none of them could guard him.
And I'm sorry, in the bubble, his name was Pandemic P. Get it right.
Oh, Pandemic P. That's even better. Michael Jordan is averaging 45. You want to know why I know that? Because Luka Doncic averaged like 36 on him, and there's no way MJ can't average 9 more points.
Yeah, but Luka was shooting threes. Lots of them.
Kawhi Leonard, like this Kawhi Leonard, I remember talking to you guys and trying to convince you guys to like understand that this Kawhi Leonard was not that defensive monster that he used to be.
Yes, but we completely disagreed on that. And that's actually available. You can watch that.
And you were wrong because Luka was on him. Like
no, I was definitely not wrong about Kawhi Leonard. I was wrong about the Clippers.
One thing I know is Kawhi couldn't guard Kobe. And there's no way in hell he's guarding Michael Jordan, this Kawhi. Because good Kawhi, good defensive Kawhi, 2017, but 2014 Kawhi couldn't guard Kobe Bryant.
2014 Kawhi, that's like he's the baby. What are you talking about?
He literally made LeBron James in that. That was the year that he made LeBron James.
But we looked at LeBron James' stats, and they were still very good against Kawhi Leonard.
Did you look at it when Kawhi was guarding him?
Come on. I think Michael Jordan's probably averaging 35 on, I don't know. The main thing here is there's no rim protection. Like, if you get by your man, which is way easier to do in today's era, there's no real rim protection on this team to speak of. Am I missing somebody, Lynn? Is Trez going to block some shots?
That man is... No, I don't like him.
There's
nobody on this team that's averaging a block a game.
Nobody. Yeah, but no.
That's rounding. Let's round, and that's Zubac.
There is one... Trez in the regular season got over a block.
And Zubac got 0.9, blah.
There's no... I don't consider Zubac a rim protector, and neither do you.
He was actually their rim protector. I'm not even joking.
I know, but that doesn't mean he was a rim protector. He happened to be theirs. because they ran out of fucking money. But
no, I was just saying, but that was their rim protected.
I think Jordan gets like 5 to 6 dunks per game.
There's no way in how Jordan's
for sure.
Like I can't even imagine.
I definitely.
And and the funny part is, I think Scotty's averaging 25. I think he's
why? Why?
Who's guarding Scotty in this team?
Why
not Paul George?
But why? Why are you?
These niggas is pussy.
Yeah,
like,
that's all. That's all this comes down to for you. That's
Yo, seriously, like,
how am I supposed to have a conversation with you about this when I can't even look at how they're actually.
Okay, you ready? You ready? I'll give something to you. Trez did not exist in the bubble. Fucking what's his face? Lou Williams didn't exist in the bubble. Paul George didn't exist in the bubble. Like, Marcus Morris was the most wishy-washy motherfucker ever. He still is, but it was worse in the... Like, they all sucked in the bubble. And you're telling me...
Kawhi was the only one that did it. I think Kawhi still his numbers, probably. Well, I don't even know, because you're going to have Scotty on you and MJ, mostly Scotty, and I think he's going to have a tough time.
I just think I think they're both going to be... with this game, it comes down to... Or with this series... It'll come down to what the pace is. If the pace is up and down, up and down, up and down, it'll go longer. Because they can obviously the Clippers have better shooters. Yep. Everybody's going to have better shooters than the Bulls. And
the only thing is this Clipper, like Lindsay's saying, like, I know she sounded like a bitter Clippers fan, and sure she kind of is, but she's also telling the truth too. These guys played horrible. Like, when they played against like, there's no reason the Mavs should have been like even a close series with them. They went 6, and it was because their second guy got injured. Like, like they're not they don't play up to what they should, like the standards that they should play to. And I think that's an issue when you're playing against a high motivated Bulls team who's trying to win a championship, and you got Michael Jordan on that other team. Like, Michael Jordan is eating them up. I'm telling you, like, I haven't been cock eating Jordan really.
I just don't think he can. I just don't think he will be able to average 45 without shooting threes. If you're telling me he's going to shoot 3 or 4 threes,
shoot some threes. He might shoot like 2 or 3. Who cares? He's literally
matters. It's way easier to get to a number like 45 when you shoot threes. I'm just saying.
He's averaged 40 in multiple series in his career.
I'm not disagreeing. I literally said 20 minutes ago that he would average 40 against the Bucks. I'm not disagreeing. It would be, I think it would be like probably.
Like, I don't think it's crazy for me to say that he's gonna average 45 on these niggas, because he literally they've been known to allow guys to score that much.
I know. I just think if you're telling me Scotty's also going to average 25, Jordan doesn't have to do all that. That's all I'm saying.
It just so
I just don't think so. I think he'll get
son. You my son. Like, he's gonna look at Kawhi and be like, "You my son. You a cornrow having non-talking ass bitch, and I'm gonna freaking made you hold my sack." Like, that's what's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
I'll take Bulls in 6. Every team so far is getting one game from me because they're going to shoot threes.
Oh, God. Yeah, I got Bulls.
It's going to happen. No, Jordan is not actually anybody in 2020. I feel really comfortable with that.
Yeah, I got you. I got Bulls in 4. I got Bulls in 4. Because I think Kawhi Leonard... So, what you're asking Kawhi to do is keep up with Michael Jordan. That's what you're really asking him to do. Because let's say Scotty and playoff P equal each other out, which is not going to happen.
Pandemic P.
Say whatever the hell his name
is. Migraine Scotty, Pandemic P, equal level.
That's not the same. This is not Migraine Scotty. This is.
I know, but I'm just saying. Migraine Scotty and Pandemic P are equal in terms of overall shittiness.
Yeah, sure. And then, so let's say they equal out. Like, I don't see Lindsay's team performing how they're supposed to. Like, the overall team, because technically they got more talent, but they're not going to show that talent because that's what this Clippers team does. They don't have chemistry. They had the issue throughout the whole season.
Doc Rivers still coaching them.
You're going to have a team locked and ready, and then you're going to have Jordan saying, you trying to be my son? Like, you the third coming? And he's going to literally eat Kawhi Leonard alive.
Cue highlights of Jordan destroying Clyde Drexler.
Yes, exactly. Come on. Like, with that, like, I'm being, like, I know I'm being, like, kind of an asshole, but I'm also very serious. He was going to eat Kawhi alive. Especially this Kawhi. If it was 2017 Kawhi, we'd be having a serious discussion because maybe his offense is not the same, or maybe even 2019 Kawhi.
I was going to say, his offense might even be better as we keep going. For him personally.
Kawhi's, yeah. So 2019 might be better. 2017 was when I feel like he was at his peak, like where his offense and defense were both at very high levels, but his offense is just at a higher level now, and his defense has diminished, in my opinion, now. And especially like 2019, his defense was good though. So let's say 2019 Kawhi, I'm okay with it. This Kawhi was not the same defender. I saw it. He let Jamal Murray average like 30 on him.
When we had him, when we were talking about needing to see him guard Luka, he was able to do it on those possessions where he did it. Like,
yeah, now imagine trying to guard Michael Jordan for 45 minutes.
I'm just saying, it's one thing to say his team is not going to be able to step up, but he has shown to consistently be like, "Fuck you guys! I'm here, get in mine." Like, he has been that type of guy so far in his career, especially with the Clippers. I think just a one-on-one game between Kawhi and Michael Jordan would be underrated in terms of entertainment value. Because Kawhi's a little bit bigger and because they have freakish dimensions. Mm-hmm. But I think because I don't think Kawhi will average as many points, but I think Kawhi's team will still manage to average more points than the Bulls, even if the Bulls are doing great. Like, they just don't score a lot of points. They just don't. It's not what they were doing. They were holding teams down from scoring and then trying to use their half court, aka Jordan, to fucking do damage. Like, that's why I'm.
So you got Bulls in 6?
Yeah, I have Bulls in 6.
Yeah, I got you. And Lindsay, you got Bulls in.
Yeah, who you got?
Bulls in 5, maybe.
Come to the dark side, Lynn.
And that's the most tentative 5 ever, and it's because I do like Kawhi Leonard. But then I'm like, you have Lou Williams, and all he's going to be thinking about is like his Magic City wings and strippers. You have Montrezl Harrell, who just like disappeared in the bubble and like didn't remember how to play defense or with energy. Then you have, like I don't know. I can't picture them.
Those wings he was eating, he gonna beat them. That's what he's gonna be. He gonna beat those barbecue chicken wings, motherfucker. All right. Let's go to the Lakers because we need to talk about an actual real team out here, man. I'm sorry about you.
Hypothetically, Bulls make the finals, right?
Technically, hypothetically, they don't, but we're gonna hypothetically push them through because we have that power. We're like gods.
Deadass.
Could I be Poseidon?
We brought the time machine. You can be whoever you want.
You can't swim and you want to be Poseidon?
What?
I'm sorry.
Yo, that was racist. How you trying to say because I'm black? I can't swim.
No, I'm trying to say because I remember us teaching you how to swim in college, and you're Poseidon.
I knew how to swim. FA had to learn how to swim. You hella racist now. I'm fat. Like we don't even look like me in FA. You hella racist.
Close.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's amazing. That's staying it too. Lindsay's racism is 100%.
I'm not. Shut up.
But LeBron, we just were sucking his piece during the regular season portion of this episode. Double-double in the playoffs too for LeBron. 27.5, 11, and 9 with a block and 1.2 steals a game, shooting 56% for the entire playoffs. For all we know, this could be LeBron's last great playoff run. Till further notice. Maybe in 2025 you'll look at this, it will be different, but
we ain't disrespecting that, man. LeBron James about to be a top 5 player in the league again. He gonna have the greatest 19. What is it? The 21st season? What is he in? Whatever season he's in, he's gonna have the greatest whatever that was. Because this might be the second greatest 35-year-old season, depending on what future Russell says about Kobe Bryant. But no, I'm joking.
Listen, you said to yourself on the show over a year ago that this had passed Kobe Bryant's.
Yo, wait, time out. We
I have footage of it.
No, yeah, that's true. And the reason I said it was because obviously he went to the playoffs. He had actually a long run, whatever.
Yeah,
like it made more sense because they had actual like a good team. But if Kobe had a good team, would have done it. But whatever, we're not doing that. I'm not doing all of this. Whatever.
LeBron and Anthony Davis against Michael and Scotty Horace Grant.
Yeah. So, do you want me to start, or do you guys want to?
When we brought this team, because we used this team for Michael Jordan's, not Michael Jordan, we used this team for LeBron James' hypothetical and brought this team in the time machine back to the 90s.
Yeah.
I believe
we had them face the 96, the 97, 16 or something. Right?
No, the 93. We brought them to 93. Jordan's last year, the first three-peat. That's where we brought them. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure we had the Bulls in 7. Right? Because we were assuming that they could probably. I think I probably had them in 7. It was close.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but yeah, okay, I can see that.
Regardless, I distinctly remember it being close. I'll cut to what it was right now. So, 4 guys in double figures. KCP, but this is what I'm saying. KCP is not a real guy. Like, I'm not saying KCP's going to do damage, but but hear me out. If KCP hits 4 or 5 threes in a game, that's 15 points. Like, points are easier to come by when you're shooting threes a little more. And I think that's why I'm saying 7 games. Otherwise, I think I would take the Bulls a little earlier.
Yeah,
I really do.
I got them in 6, personally.
Wow. What do you think, Glenn?
I think you guys tried to say a final decision like 50 times and you finally made one. I kind of almost want to say the Lakers, but I don't want to say it.
Like, I'm just, I don't know, man. I don't trust AD enough.
That's interesting. That's interesting to me. And that's probably going to be a factor as we keep moving on through the time.
Yeah.
But, so, obviously, the 91 team is less of a shooting team than even the 93 team we had brought them back against previously.
Yeah.
I'm taking, especially because we're playing under these rules, I'm taking Lakers in 7. I'll take Lakers in 7. Honestly, it totally depends on what Anthony Davis I'm getting. If Anthony Davis is going to be the beta, then I'll take Lakers in 7. But if Anthony Davis is going to be like Superman Pelicans Anthony Davis, like I'm going hard, I want to be the alpha, I think the Lakers could win in 5 or 6.
Yeah. I'm going Lakers in 6.
Okay.
My reason. And this might be totally against what I said before, because I don't remember what I said. And that was literally almost a year ago, guys. So you can't even talk to me about this. But it does matter. It really does matter because they were playing in the 90s rules versus the obviously 2020 rules.
Yeah, we're in 2020 now. We're not taking the Lakers and bringing them back. We're taking the Bulls and bringing them forward.
Yeah, exactly. So the Anthony Davis factor matters so much more because I think Anthony Davis, I felt like was going to have a harder time in the 90s. And I think he has a really much more easier time in this 2020 season, because let's say you have Horace guarding him, he could be pulling Horace out. Anthony Davis has guard skills.
Well, that's the thing. Even if you put him on, because let's say Anthony Davis is playing the 5, that puts him against Bill Cartwright. He's literally crossing up Bill Cartwright, getting by him at will, or just spin those cute little spin shots that he can do.
Yeah,
like you said, guard skills out the ass. Totally.
Yeah. So he's definitely gonna eat them up there, and I really do think we talked about it throughout this playoff run, and I remember thinking LeBron James was like dormant throughout this whole, and he would just come out and let you know, like, bro, I'm just letting this boy shine right here. This guy to the left of me, my son over here, I was letting him shine. Like they call me, they call me Puff because I shine like one.
I think of the Rocket series in particular when I think of LeBron being dormant and then just exploding.
Oh my God! It was just remember Game 5? We watched Game 5 together. That Denver game.
Yeah.
And he just exploded. Like and I really do feel like LeBron could do whatever he wants against this Bulls team. Nobody's gonna stop him. I don't even think Scotty could.
I think Scotty slows him because he's the same dimensions, but I think nobody
sure, maybe LeBron scores 28 on 50% shooting instead of 58. But
yeah, I'm not disagreeing. It's the same way Kawhi stopped him.
Yeah,
same thing. I'm not disagreeing with that at all.
And I think Anthony Davis gets his same numbers.
I'm fine with that. So I really am. There's no.
We don't have anybody stopping Jordan. I wouldn't even dare say anybody in the Lakers could guard him. But what the one issue Jordan does have is we have a lot of rim protection. Dwight Howard, Anthony Davis.
One of the few teams that has a lot of rim protection.
Yeah, is Marcus on this team? No, he's not.
No. That's next year.
What's the
Dwight?
You still have JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee's another guy. Like Jordan ain't just dunking on JaVale McGee. Like JaVale McGee. Huh?
That'd be a cool.
He'd probably get like one poster on him, but he could block him a couple times too. Like JaVale's he could jump. He could get up there, and he's a big boy.
Yeah,
so I feel like you at least have some resistance at the rim where Jordan will have to shoot a little more. And I feel like overall, like what I liked about this Laker team a lot was the hybrid style. It could jump in and out of it could do small ball. It could do big. I don't want to say big ball. What the hell is it called? You know what I'm talking about?
Ball.
Yeah.
Fucking no. I that's why we picked them. That's why we picked this team over all of LeBron's championship teams, over all LeBron's teams that we've seen, is because of how malleable this team was and how we saw them play both styles, a traditional style and a new age small baller, closer to small ball style.
Yeah.
I definitely think a guy like Rondo will be interesting to have on all their point guards.
Yeah.
I don't think Rondo can guard Jordan. I don't think he's big enough. But
absolutely not.
And I think Alex Caruso is food. I think.
Wait. Alex Caruso is the next Michael Jordan. That's a fact. He's in Chicago and everything too. Like
there's an awesome picture of that. I'll put it on your screen.
Yeah.
Fucking Michael Jordan handing the torch to Caruso.
Don't play.
So hilarious. But there's not a lot of guys on the Lakers that can guard Jordan. But the difference between the Clippers and this team is, like you said, rim protection. So Michael Jordan may be closer to under 50% than over 50%. It's going to be close, but and he's going to have to get 35 a game, in my opinion.
And I feel like it's going to be tougher for Scotty to score his points because, like, Scotty wasn't really that much of a mid-range assassin. He was, like, in and out. Like
he would get his shots, and he was a good spot-up jump shooter. He wasn't a off-the-dribble guy. He would get his spot-up shots from time to time. And
I feel like Scotty. I feel like LeBron James could really lock up Scotty. Like even that. Like this is LeBron was playing defense at this point.
Yeah,
like
but not lockup. Not super lockup. Like how much did Harden?
I feel like you could lock up Scotty because he ass cheeks. like that's what I'm saying. Like
so, Harden against the Lakers still got to his 50% shooting, but he was held from 34 to 29 a game.
Westbrook, sure.
Westbrook's not a Scott. I'm just thinking of like.
No, but I was just gonna say Westbrook. The only thing with Westbrook that I want to mention because like it looks like the Lakers played him really well, but he had just came off of like COVID.
Yeah,
and that was like a thing that people think that affected him. So
yeah,
even he said that he felt funny about it after, like he felt like he had a little bit of like long COVID or whatever.
you don't really have in their playoff run. There's not the only guy that played that is like a Scotty kind of guy. Maybe would have been like in that Heat series somewhere, like maybe. But like not even Jimmy doesn't play like Scotty. Like he plays more like
Jimmy
MJ.
plays closer to Scotty than he does MJ.
You think Jimmy plays closer to Scotty than MJ?
Yeah, he's more of a natural point.
Like the
he's more of a natural distributor, selfless type guy than Jordan is.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the actual play style.
Oh yeah, I think Jimmy Butler is a distributor because Jimmy even in the NBA Finals from this year, he's going to average almost a triple double. Like, and that's what Scotty was starting to get into with the high. It was like 19, 7 and 7 for that's the kind of player.
I feel like at that time when I was watching, I felt like Jimmy was playing more like a MJ kind of player than a Scotty kind of player when he needed to. So I mean, it was in and out. I could see where you're coming from, though.
It wasn't natural for him to do that.
So what do you mean? He was like trying to take over the game.
Yeah, he wanted to be the closer. I believe that. I believe he wanted his role to be closing from a scoring standpoint. But I don't think getting you to that point, he wants to get other people involved. He's way more interested in that than MJ, who's just like, like I said, iron win type guy.
Yeah.
If we'll give Lakers one game for shooting, right? We give them one game for threes like I gave everybody else. I give LeBron.
I'm giving Lakers 4 games.
Let me finish. Okay. I give LeBron a game where he kind of just explodes because I don't think Jordan can guard him. I really don't. Head up, I don't think that's a good matchup. As we were talking about if we think Magic Johnson was destroying him in the post, LeBron at 35 knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like,
well, the whole thing is like this LeBron James is literally like a souped up Magic Johnson, in my opinion. Like Magic Johnson, his best career like year was the 24, 12, and 6 year, right?
Yeah.
LeBron James for the regular season, he averaged 25, 10, and 8, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Magic Johnson's like best year ever, right? In the playoffs, he did even better, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was like 27,
9, and 11.
Yeah, exactly. So like this is a souped up Magic Johnson. Like he had a hard time with older Magic Johnson. Now this LeBron James is like, to me, significantly better than that Magic Johnson. So I think he has a hard time. But
significantly is strong. They ended in the exact same spot for MVP voting in the year. They were both second in MVP voting. I think LeBron was better, but I refuse to let people say that Magic Johnson was ass because it wasn't.
Yeah, but that Magic Johnson is ass compared to this LeBron James. He's not a better, like when you literally head and shoulders. LeBron is head and shoulders better than that Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I don't agree, but continue.
Okay. So I think they definitely have a hard time. And the only thing is, can Scotty slow him down like he did Magic? And I don't think he can.
I just think LeBron's going to be way more physical, even in this.
Well, it's not even that. LeBron James has he has the 3-point shooting to his advantage. He has like other moves that Magic didn't have. Like, then that's where, like, not to go back to it, but that's where I think it's the head and shoulders. Like LeBron and Magic are probably similar in passing, and then you got LeBron James who can attack the basket way better than Magic at this point, and then he also has the 3-point shooting. He has so much more to his arsenal than Magic does, and then he also is a significantly better defender. Like, it's not even close to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I'm not saying Magic. That Magic here would still be a top 10 player in the league, like, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think
I'm not I don't think
I don't know if anybody.
But it's just like the same thing with like, think about LeBron at this point in the league versus the 10th best player in the league. To me, he's head and shoulders better than him. Like whoever's 10th.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't know. That's off topic. I'm overthinking this entire thing that you're trying to. Fucking. I go ahead. Who do you got, Lynn?
Lakers in 5.
Wow.
I was gonna go there, but I was like, let me give a little bit more respect to MJ. But I was thinking that. Like,
well, then you're welcome, Dario.
Thank you for the.
But why?
Making me feel like a pussy.
I just feel like, especially with the era and the rules and stuff, I just think that this team is more built for 2020, and it'll be hard for them to stop them. I just don't see how the matchups play in favor for the Bulls. I don't see it. Nobody's going to be able to stop LeBron, but nobody's going to be able to stop Jordan. But somebody could stop Scottie, but can anybody stop Anthony Davis?
Yeah, I think Anthony Davis is your finals MVP in that situation. I definitely think that. I think LeBron, because it would make sense for LeBron to score less than Anthony Davis if literally Anthony Davis is an absolute matchup nightmare for anybody who's trying to guard him. Because Scottie's not guarding Anthony Davis. He's too small. So, like I said, it leaves the worst people on the Bulls are their big men, like in terms of depth and in terms of overall skill. And I definitely think Anthony Davis has got to be the MVP for that 5-game outcome to happen.
But remember, because to me the Heat are a very similar team to that Bulls. Like we were kind of talking about in that series. Like that's what everybody thought in this actual series, the Heat versus the Lakers. A lot of people thought that Anthony Davis would probably be Finals MVP because of those same reasons. And LeBron James still did what he did. And I feel like he would do the same thing to that Bulls team.
Well, I just think the one difference there being at least fucking did Bam get injured during this series?
Yeah.
Why in my head I'm thinking that, right? That was the other thing. Bam got hurt, and then that became the same situation that we're talking about.
That makes it even more of a reason Anthony Davis should have like gone. You know what I mean? Like that's Anthony. That's who was guarding Anthony Davis.
Right, but Anthony Davis came out the gate with that 34. I remember this because it was after the first couple of games, and then by the end of the series, LeBron leads the last 3 games in scoring, and he led 4 out of the 6 games in scoring. Right. So. But I just think if they were playing the Bulls with less people up front, because even though Miami doesn't have a lot of people, it's still got more than the Bulls in terms of guarding a 2020 Anthony Davis in 2020. I just don't think the centers or the big men on the Bulls are going to be able to
even an injured Heat team. You feel like that?
I think Bam Adebayo is better than anybody the Bulls got. From a big man standpoint.
Yeah, and he was injured, and like that. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel like he should have
the series.
Yeah,
he
but
got injured after game 4.
2 out of the 6 games. Like if that gives him a lot of time to dominate and take over. Like I mean, we're arguing over Finals MVP now. Like it doesn't really matter. I feel like it could go either way.
Sure.
I also think LeBron would look at I know MJ would look at going against LeBron and wanting to eat him alive, but I feel like this LeBron James, this is the same guy that gave you the speech afterwards, like give me my respect and all this other shit. Remember,
the mentally toughest LeBron, and I said this at the time.
Yeah,
this is the mentally toughest LeBron we'd seen to this point.
Yeah, and he said, put some respect on Rob Pelinka. Thing and put some damn respect on me. Yeah, that's what, and he's gonna be like, he's gonna take it out on him. I feel like this LeBron James could do that. I think LeBron gets a stat line similar to the one that he gets here. Yeah,
maybe less rebounds, just because I don't think he'll be in the paint as much. With like I said, the Bulls have more rebounders, but Anthony Davis, I think, could get 30 a game. Why not? I think he'll shoot more than the threes he shot in the finals here. I think he'll be closer to LeBron's when he's going to shoot about 30 because he'll stretch the floor. Like, that'll be the game plan. What did he put up against Joker? Because I know he had that game winner in this series, and we already talked about game 5. Yeah. 31 points a game, 54% shooting. He didn't take as many threes, but still, that's what I figured. Because I think that's how it's gonna be. Because we know Jokic obviously not the defender at all. He's only giving it to you on the offensive end, and I think Davis could definitely get over that. What do you call it? That 30 points per game mark on.
That's crazy.
Horace Grant, Bill Cartwright, and friends.
I felt like Davis dominated that series, and LeBron's stat line is still
27.
He would have still won finals. If that was the finals, he would have still won Finals MVP.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's what I think. That's why it's always just tough to pick anybody on LeBron's team to be Finals MVP besides him.
It's also just he's earned that. Put it this way. He's earned that. But because literally every team that's ever been successful around him is built like that, where he's the engine of the car. Yeah. Put it that way. It's like Magic Johnson with Showtime. Magic Johnson's the engine of the Showtime car. Similar deal.
Yeah.
So we have the Bulls having trouble in 2020. And Michael Jordan being not head and shoulders the best player in the league, but right in the middle of the pack with the top 1%, which is interesting, I think. Any last thoughts?
Oh, yes.
Time machine related before we move on.
Before I forget, this is for future Russell. The perfect thing to put in when we're talking about Paul George crying in his room after Michael Jordan talks shit is, you remember that mockumentary on HBO with the tennis players? You know how in that one scene, the one character is just standing, staring at the wall in the dark? That would be Paul George.
Yeah, if I can get that without copyright, I'll put it up. But thank you for watching. I'm Russell Broderick. That's Dario Albuquerque, we right?
Dario is, Russell's not.
Fuck, that's Dario Albuquerque. And we are saying deuces.
Deuces.